In this tutorial, we're going to go over how you can schedule a Zoom meeting inside of your Blackboard course site. This builds on the information of creating a Zoom link in your Blackboard course site that was covered in the previous video. If you haven't done that, we do recommend you go back and you watch it. But continuing on our left side course menu, we can see that we already set up our Zoom meetings link, and that when we click it, it launches the LTI and shows us the Zoom interface for Zoom meetings for this course. In the top left, we can see that we have upcoming meetings, which are meetings that are currently in progress or upcoming. We can see we have a tab for previous meetings. We have our personal meeting room and the settings for those, and also recordings that have been saved to the cloud. When we click on upcoming meetings, which is where we're going to be working, since there's no data there, that means there's currently not a meeting. So what we're going to do is in the top right corner of the screen, I'm just going to enable a little spotlight here. We're going to go ahead and hover over schedule a new meeting, which is the blue button in the top right, and we're going to click it. And when we click on that button, it brings us to the settings for this meeting that we're going to be launching. The topic might be a new lecture of some kind, and you can add a description as you see fit below that. And as we scroll down, we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the options so we can decide when our meeting is going to take place. And if we wanted to start right now, we can leave the settings as is because it's about 7 p.m. on 3/11/2020. But if we want to schedule it for the future, we can go ahead and forward it to 9 p.m. and then we can click on the calendar icon and we can choose a date in the future. Below that, we can also decide our duration, which can be any number of hours, up to 24. And we could choose our time zone as well. And if this is a meeting that we'd like to recur, we can go ahead and check the box for recurring meeting. And so it will be every day until March 29th, 2020, and 5 occurrences. And we can set the period for those recurrences, and we can choose the time period for those recurrences. So it could be every 2 days, every 3 days, 6 days, etc. And we could choose an end date for that sequence of recurring meetings as well. If you're just trying to launch a normal single meeting, then this option may not be right for you. So we're going to go ahead and unclick it. And next we move to the registration tab. You may want to require students to register before they attend this meeting. If so, you'd want to require that. But if you just want students to join, which is probably what you're going to want to do, you could just leave it unchecked. As far as sharing video, we now have the options to choose for the host and the participants. If you're the instructor, then you're definitely going to be the host. And that means that video sharing is going to automatically be enabled when you sign in. And you can choose to leave that off or on. Leaving it off by default is not a bad option. And for audio, we do recommend that you leave it to both as well, because you want users to be able to listen to the meeting via telephone or computer audio. And next, and finally, down at the very bottom, we have our meeting options, and we can require a meeting password. Or if you want to also send this to outside people, maybe you don't want a meeting password. And you have the option to enable students to join before you, which if you check that off, they won't be able to. And we can mute participants upon entry. So when students enter or participants enter into the Zoom meeting, the meeting won't be disrupted by people talking. You can also use your personal meeting ID, enable a waiting room if you don't want people to join before you, or if you want people to have a waiting area before the meeting starts. And you can also set the meeting to record automatically if you'd like for this specific meeting. And you have the choice for that to record it to your local computer or to the cloud. And if you choose the cloud, it will be available to you through this interface right here where it says cloud recordings. Moving back to our meeting scheduling panel, Now that we've made our decisions about the settings we do or don't want, we can go ahead and click the Save button. But before we do that, you can also enter somebody's email if you want them to be an alternative host or a co-host. So now we're going to click on the blue Save button at the bottom left. And now we could just review all the settings that we have made for our new lecture. And if we want to go back to our primary page, we could scroll back to the top, and in the top left corner, click on where it says Course Meetings. We can see now that in our Zoom interface for our course site, a new lecture appears, and the topic is New Lecture, and it gives you the option to go ahead and start it or delete it. And this covers how you can create a Zoom meeting for your Blackboard course site. Thank you for watching.